So this was how far I've gone into the tutorial before I realized that my camera wasn't videoing, like I didn't click on the record button, and this kept me so devastated. This is me thinking on what to do, but later on I just decided to go ahead and just explain the markings you are seeing on the table. So now this is my neckline, and my shoulder slope by 1 inch. I came down by 1 inch, and this is my armhole depth to the chest line. That's my chest line. This is my bust line, my under bust line, and this is my waistline, which is the half length. Okay, so now I'm going to place my tape so that you see my vertical measurements. So now I have 10.5 as my bust point measurement, as you can see on the tape, and I have 14 inches as my under bust and 17 inches as the waistline. Okay, so now for the darts, okay, I divided my bust part measurement into two. That's 4 inches, and I added half inch to it, and I marked 4.5 inches. So the next thing I'm going to do is for the bust cup size. Okay, so now for the bust cup size, you have to minus your bust span from your under bust measurement, then you divide that by 2. So after doing that, I got 2 inches. Okay, so I inserted the 2 inches at the side of my front bodies, and I inserted 1 inch at the center front. Okay, then I used my armhole curve to connect. I have a video on calculations and formula. Okay, so in case you don't know how to get your bust cup size, check on my video on calculations and formula. I'm going to insert the link. Okay, so do well to check on the video, and you get the calculations on how to get your bust cup size. So now this line you are seeing, what I did is that at my neckline to the armhole line there, like just take a look at what I'm doing so you understand what I'm doing. So I folded my tape into 2. I got 5.5, so I divided that into 2 and I marked. So from that point there, I traced my line down to the bust point. Okay, so that's where I have it. Now next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take 7 inches as my neckline. So this is in a case that you're creating a tube. Okay, so I'm taking 7 inches. So if you take 7, you started showing cleavages. 8, 9, so the deeper you go, you started showing cleavage. But if you don't want to show anything, just take 6 inches. Now on this line, I'm going to mark 1 inch, okay, beside the line. So you can actually mark 0.5, 0.75, or 1 inch. 1 inch is the maximum. So on my bust point line, as you can see, I came up by 1 inch also, and I'm going to use my armhole curve to connect from the point where I marked my 1 inch to the point where you have it 1 inch above the bust point. So now I'm going to connect. Okay, so while connecting, try not to make your cup to be too curvy. If it is too curvy, you are going to notice some foldings after sewing to your fabric. Okay, so don't make it too curvy. So now I'm just going to connect the dart that I have for the center front also. I'll connect it this way. Can you see? So now I'm just making sure that everything is well blended. So you can go ahead and just take your time to do this and blend it very well. So guys, we are done with this part. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to show you guys my actual measurements. So this is my bust measurement. That's 40 inches divided by 4. I got 10, so I marked there on my chest line and on my bust points line. Then I have 9 inches on the under bust and the waist line. Okay, that's 36 inches divided by 4. Okay, so now to add back what we took. You remember we took 2 inches. So now the 2 inches for the side front and 1 inch for the center front is 3 inches. So I'll mark in 3 inches and I'll connect my line. So now I've created my armhole. As you can see, explaining what I did, from the shoulder loop I took my armhole measurement as 8 inches. I divided that by 2 and I marked 4 inches. So 8 divided by 2, you get 4. So at that 4 inches point I came in by 0.75. so here you can do 0.5 or 0.75, so whichever one you choose to do. So I now created the armhole. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is to insert this dart. Okay, so we took 1 inch from the two sides, so that is 2 inches. So I'll just mark in my 2 inches. So you just have to do this so that you not run short of your fabric. Okay, if you did not do this, you'll be lost. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is to connect, okay, from that point to the side dart, as you can see. So if you don't understand, just take a closer look on what I'm doing, okay, and you do same. Okay, now I'm trying to create my sweetheart neckline, so I came down by 8 inches from the top, and I'm going to place my armhole like you see me doing. I'm just trying to position it in a way that I will like. Okay, so I'm going to trace it out. So now this is it for your tube dress containing the upper bust tightening and lower bust tightening. So in terms of adding your normal allowance, you can decide to add 1.5 inches. It all depends on you. You can decide to add 2 inches. So the next thing I'm going to do is to connect the line. So this as you can see, the line is looking funny. Okay, so you just have to ignore this. Okay, so by the time you cut out your darts, okay, it is going to come back to shape. Okay, so it's kind of looking shapeless now, but not to worry. Alright, so if you want, you can go ahead and add your normal seam allowances. So with this, guys, we've come to the end of this tutorial, the upper bust tightening and lower bust tightening. Please, before you go, do not forget the law of like and subscribe, and also click on the notification bell so that you get more of detailed videos. If you've watched so far, thanks a lot, and see you on my next one.